So the Trilithon stones, 3 stones, 900 tons apiece, or 800 metric tons, and they were moved a half a mile from the quarry. They were lifted and stacked approximately 30 feet off the ground. And when I say stacked, they were perfectly lined up, and they're absolutely massive. So let me tell you right here, and I, of course, have the gentleman there who I'll tell you about later highlighted just to kind of show you for perspective. Like, that's someone right there. It's 5'11". Those stones that are highlighted in red are the Trilithon stones. But these pictures do not do it justice because it's taken through an ultra-wide camera lens. From the top to bottom of the red highlighted stones is 14 feet, and they're 62 feet long. Or 62 feet, excuse me. Like, there's me. And
that's so crazy. It's hard to tell because of the perspective, and people need to kind of understand how a wide-angle lens sort of distorts things by showing you this enormous field of view. But when you're looking at something that's 14 feet long and 62 feet long and 14 feet high, like, what is the weight of that? What's the overall weight?
900 imperial tons or 800 metric tons. And to anyone listening, a metric ton is 2,200 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, and an imperial ton is 2,000 pounds. So that's 1.7 million pounds, each of them, and there's 3 of them. And if you were to go to the quarry, there's ones that are 1,200 tons and even 1,500 tons that are 20 feet tall. This is mind-boggling. Like,
these are clearly cut stones that were moved into place and moved 23 feet above the ground.
Right. And technically 30 feet because there's stones that are actually below the ground there that you can't see because it's submerged under the earth. So technically it was 30 feet, but 23 feet off the ground today. And right there, this highlights, so not only is that 14 feet from top to bottom, which you would never realize when you're looking at this, and these are confirmed measurements, by the way. This is right out of encyclopedias. But notice how they're completely flush, nice and even with each other. And this exceeds the known capabilities of what the Romans had. And it's worth mentioning that this site is some 2,400 miles from Rome, the capital. And if they're going to say that this was created by the Romans, one, people need to understand that the Romans were renowned for documenting everything, yet this site is not credited to anybody. They don't know exactly who did it or when, but the academics conclude that it had to have been the Romans or the Phoenicians because, of course, there was no one before them.